What do you do when you're using a newer version of InDesign, but a client or a colleague is still using InDesign CS6 or CS5 or even CS4? If you send them your InDesign file, they won't be able to open it. Instead, they'll get a nasty alert saying they don't have the right plugins. What will you do? Well, the trick is to send them an IDML file, technically an InDesign markup language file. It's an XML thing, but you don't need to worry about the technical details. It's just an IDML file that they can open. And you can make an IDML file in one of two ways. First, you could go to the File menu and choose Save As. We looked at that in the last movie. Or you could choose Export. And in the Format pop-up menu in the Export dialog box, you can choose InDesign Markup, or IDML. Both methods, either Save As or Export, do exactly the same thing. Then, when you click Save, you'll get your IDML file that you can send to somebody else, and they'll be able to open it. InDesign exports your IDML file in the background, and sometimes if it's a really large file, it can take a little while. You'll see an indicator in the application bar that shows you that the InDesign file is exporting. The indicator will disappear when the IDML export is done. But remember, using IDML to save backward to an earlier version is not seamless. Some things can get lost. Your document might change, sometimes radically, when you open a file in an earlier version. For example, let's say your document contains more than one page size. That's something I'll explain in a later chapter. Well, all of those page sizes are completely lost if you open the IDML file back in InDesign CS4, because that old version doesn't know about multiple page sizes. It just doesn't have that feature. So all your pages end up the same size. Nevertheless, in many situations, IDML works just fine, especially when you're working with simple documents and you can't convince everyone you work with to upgrade.